back.
Hey Frank, I have two questions. I have two statements and a question. First of all, I lived in Biloxi, Mississippi, and I stood out like a sore thumb. I can't imagine what people like there. But second, when you compared yourself to the U.S. military, that really insulted me. Because, that really hit me hard. But on that, how would your crew have dealt with what's happening today, like cowards like Omar Martin and ISIS? Would they have gotten involved?
What did she say?
He's wondering about how the outfit might have thought about terrorists and bombers.
We would have had when I say party, we would have party with them, all right. We would have been whacking them left and right. We would like that, all right?
Operating to avoid the death penalty and the seizure of his family's home, but his lawyer doesn't.
Among the guests at this wedding are former mobsters and their families, living secret lives in hiding. What they fear is that one day the mafia will get them for daring to talk. The bride, Victoria Mangiavellano, knows all about that. When her father Salvatore faced a 75-year prison sentence, he took the decision to testify against his former bosses. He had stolen millions of dollars, masterminding bank heists. For the Gambino crime family.
You sure you want to do this, right?
Yes, sir.
You positive?
I'm absolutely positive.
Victoria's family are part of a small community with one thing in common. These men have all inflicted enormous damage on the mafia. Their evidence has put more than 100 mobsters behind bars. Victoria's fiancé Darren is a hotel concierge and knows all about her father's past. But for the time being, the couple have decided not to share that fact with the rest of his family.
Yes, everyone. Daniel, my grandparents. Daniel, button your jacket.
Our invitation to this wedding had been facilitated by someone I'd met before. He was once the most powerful of any of the former mafia men here. He is Michael DiLeonardo, also known as Mikey Scars. His second wife and son didn't want to be interviewed, but Mikey agreed to see me again. Our last meeting had been about 2 years ago. He lives somewhere he wouldn't say, and we met at a place chosen by him. He has been a vital witness for the government, to the undiluted fury of the mob.
Bravo, what a pleasure seeing you again.
Good to see you again. Good to see you. Mikey, it's some time since I last saw you. Do you still fear that there are people who will still want to come after you?
Well, if you want to put yourself in a false sense of security, you're making a mistake. Not that there's out people hunting me, because if they really wanted to hunt me down, I'm sure by now they would have found me. But to put yourself in places where I don't belong, maybe these interviews that I've done in the past and one that I'm doing now, maybe that will irritate some people that I'm doing it. But I can't control that. I'm here to tell what I need to tell and get it out to the public about what goes on in this life and the ups and downs and the goods and the bads of it.
In a community like this, there is almost a sort of secret cabal of former mobsters, mob members who were cooperating with the authorities, or who are cooperating with the authorities. Does that make life easier for you?
Who told you that? Very good. Yes, well, I reconnected and connected with people that I knew of in the street, and some people I didn't know in the street in my past life. You know, it's something that we needed. You know, we're in society where we can't be ourselves. Every day we wake up, I have a name that I wasn't born with, and the people that I deal with on a daily basis don't know my history. They know me as the name I have today. So when you can reconnect with somebody from your past, it's therapeutic. We're more candid with each other than we were in the street. In the street, we had to put up a suit of armor. We had to soldier up. We had to act a certain way. Over here, we let our hair down a little bit more.
You've met a lot of mobsters in your life.
Right.
You ultimately, after being in prison for a period of time in Brazil, you ultimately decided to cooperate, and in fact, cooperate with the government, which is why you're here today and not in jail. All right. Why do you believe him?
A couple different reasons, Steve. One, I read all the testimony, the transcripts of the 2 trials he testified at.
In John Gotti Jr., even though he has a different middle initial, he'll go by Junior right now.
Right. So the Junior Gotti trial in 09, the Charles Carneglia trial in 09, one ended with conviction, one ended with a hung jury.
And they were being charged with
murder, racketeering, all those sorts of. I've read all of those transcripts, all of the testimony in those trials. I've reviewed documents. I talked to John at length. The one thing that gave me a comfort level, John told me stuff about Philadelphia that I know intuitively. And I know when he was talking about Philadelphia.
The Philadelphia mob.
Philadelphia mob. He was telling me the truth. I know that. I know a lot of the New York story. Now, Brazil, I'm taking him at his word about what happened in Brazil. But I sat down with this guy for hour upon hour upon hour, and the only thing I said to him is, John, you don't have to sugarcoat this. Just tell me the truth. And I believe he did. And the federal government believes he does. Now, John Gotti Jr. can spin it any way he wants. John Gotti Jr. is still trying to control the narrative in this story. That's what this is about.
So John Gotti Jr., by the way, you acknowledged what crimes on your own end.
What crimes did I acknowledge?
So that people understand that you're not holding back about yourself.
No, I was charged originally with 2 murders. I pled out to 6 murders. I discussed being involved in about 37 shootings. Gotti's lawyers at the time, Carnisi, said I was a liar. He said I shot more than that. I said possibly. I didn't deny those facts. I told the government I may have been involved in almost up to 14 or 15 homicides. I didn't deny that fact. I'm not sure what happened to those people that got shot, but I came out, I was truthful. I put my life out there, and I try to be as honest as possible.
Do I like a lot of his songs? Energy's probably the best one that I like because it relates to us. There's going to be haters no matter what you do. Whether you're an angel on the street, on a good path, and you never hit the streets, or you did something on the street. But here's the thing, and just like the Bible says, and the people that aren't religious don't like to quote the Bible, you know what? No one's perfect. No one never does anything that never did a thing in life that they didn't do something wrong. Everybody did something wrong. Okay, we did a lot of things wrong. And unfortunately, but we can't change it. The only thing you can change is moving that in a positive direction and helping kids. Because I know one thing, if I was a guy that was a young guy that had kids out there, I'd rather see you taking care of them. The guy that knows about the street and you're going to change their lives and make sure they never go on that path. Because that's the most important thing is you have the experience of not bullshitting. You weren't some guy that somebody stuck a spoon in his mouth and silver spoon and you had a great life. You've been in trouble since you were a little kid. Yeah. And you fought since you were a little kid, and you shot since you were a little kid, and you robbed since you were a little kid. And now you're on the other opposite side. So when you're giving your opinion, people are going to listen. Of course. Michael Francis gives an opinion, he can't because he didn't live this type of life. If Ronnie G wanted to change his life tomorrow, he can't give you a kind of opinion because he wasn't a tough guy on the street. Guys aren't going to understand it. But you can go to Jamaica or you can go to Brooklyn, you can go down to East New York and you can talk to kids, they relate to you because you've been with them. You've been in the grind. You came from nothing. You lived this life. So that's the most important thing really for the message, honestly. That I don't know anybody, and back to Drake, that they're going to talk shit no matter what. We ain't never going to stop them. And the only thing we can tell them is when you keep talking about when guys are talking about coming for you, well, come on.
Hey, you know what gets me so mad sometimes too? Because like I did a lot of time in Rikers Island. I did a lot of time in there, and I was always usually the only white kid in the block because all of them used to go to PC. So these kids make stories up on me that they were in there with me. I know that every time I was in a cell block in Rikers Island, I was with so many gang members that are out to this day. There was no other white guys in there with me. So they're telling these fake stories that they were in there with me. When I was in there, I was constantly attacking gang members, fighting with them, being jumped, everything. And that's not bragging, it's the truth. And I like to say, I have respect for those gang members. I really do, because they had balls. They were real tough guys, and I had a lot of respect for them, more than my own people. How about that? How about that in the street? That they would. I'd rather have 5 of them than 100 of them. I swear.
Well, you know, here's the thing. I think I told you about a little small tough kid from Jersey, Fonz. In and out of jail, fighting like crazy. Him and his brothers are all tough kids, all of them.
Turned mob rat is out of prison today. His latest conviction was for peddling ecstasy here in Arizona, making a reported $500,000 per week. He also admitted to killing 19 people. So what is it like to get to know such a person? Team 12's Nico Santos met with an Arizona Republic reporter who interviewed him multiple times. And Nico, he's got quite the story.
Yeah, very fascinating, actually. A violent career criminal. He was often in the crosshairs himself. There was even a rumored $1 million bounty out for his killing, but reporter Dennis Wagner says Sam the Bully is fearless.
What the F do you want?
The moment Dennis Wagner first came face to face with a notorious mafia hitman.
And then he led me into a back room and we started talking.
It was the start of a professional relationship with Salvatore Gravano, also known as Sammy the Bull.
He had shark-like eyes. He's a little guy, but he's really an imposing personality.
Records show he's out of his Arizona prison cell 5 years early after running a multi-million-dollar ecstasy ring in the state.
His son launched into this business. He was fearful that his son wouldn't know how to operate and might get in trouble with the law.
Before that sentence, Gravano pleaded guilty to 19 murders, a number this Arizona Republic reporter will never forget.
Something like 18 murders. And he says, why don't you get your facts straight? It's 19.
Gravano spent only 5 years in prison for that through a plea deal.
And all eyes are on me, and I explain what happened.
We're in the Bronx, Morris Park, or what part of the Bronx?
On Tremont Avenue.
Oh yeah, Throgs Neck. Yeah.
Correct. And I think that's Throgs Neck. I don't know. So I'm asked to explain, and every once in a while I'm being stopped and asked, a side question, and I'm answering. And so what we find out is that we find out exactly and get told right on the spot. Don't forget, I'm only an associate at this point. And Ralphie Basamo was a skipper with the West Side. And I'm saying to myself, oh my God. And we're learning what took place. And they said that they have a list of your names, and your name is at the top. They had a list of our names. And so what they did is creatively, the only way to get me in trouble, I guess they assumed, like I said, that this Ralphie assumed that I was a friend. So what he turns around, I guess because he's pissed, because they would have probably did damage to me. Because at that point, Tom, who's going to stop? Unless I went and hid underneath the limo or I ran away, who is going to stop these guys from banging me up too? They knocked everybody out except me. Why would they do that? So how is that my fault? You know what I mean? There was no way for me. But anyway,
I hate to say this, John, but I'm just thinking, I'm just going by your words.
Yeah.
If I heard this story,
yes,
and you stop me if I'm wrong, but in the mob world, being a soldier is a very big deal. It's miles away from being an associate.
Correct.
Being a captain from a soldier is like being it's not like a simple promotion. It's a big fucking deal, right? So just at what you're saying, right? It kind of implies, whether you inferred it or not, that you basically said you had your buddy. I'm just giving you because it's exemplified in the actions from this guy Ralph. He did exactly what you probably said. Hey, don't touch this guy. He's with us. The other guys lumped him up, right?
Yes.
So now whether you said it, which I don't think you do, you're not an idiot, or he inferred it. Either way, I hate to say this, but you're going in there cold in a way. You know what I'm saying? So
I use the term fazul, which means actually in Italian beans.
Beans.
Or potato. I'm serious. Potatoes.
You say a yarn shop.
Yeah.
A cold yarn shop.
Right.
And I find out later they meant Queens Boulevard, not Kings Boulevard.
Yeah, you went to the wrong boulevard.
They sent me to the wrong place. So I go into this yarn shop.
But it happened to be the same name of Nicholas. Something
yes,
like
it was
that.
Nicole's.
Nicole.
I thought it was the same one.
Oh, wow. Oh, no, my
God. They said, give me 10 grand.
And I noticed my father was much different than the rest of the fathers in the neighborhood I grew up in. All the other fathers were taking their sons fishing on the weekend, taking them to ball games, and I'd see them walking down the block with their arms around their sons. And my father never did any of those things with me. My father would come home from work, sit down and have dinner and begin to drink. My father was an alcoholic.